August 4th Board of Parks and Recreation regular meeting to order. We have a quorum. So the first item on the agenda is public input. It is open to the public. And in this Zoom world, I will let Dustin sort of do the moderating. If someone has their hand up or is waving or is signal to you that they'd like to speak, we would gladly appreciate anyone's input.
Well, I did not receive any input from the public via email or call, but I'm looking for folks online to either interject or raise their hand, and I'm seeing none. To take a page out of the Plan Commission chair, Bill Baker, going once, going twice, 3 times, there's no public comment.
Yeah. I hate to even use him as an example, but I guess I will.
Can I have him delete it from the minutes? That name. Tell him I said that, Dan.
That's okay. I got to be careful. He's the one that signs my contract.
That's true. That's true.
I need to count to 5. That's more. Next item is approval of the minutes for October. Wow. It certainly isn't October 4th, 2015.
Whoa.
But it's okay. It's always good to laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
For our last meeting, which was
July.
not in October, it was in July.
What date was that?
I have it here. It was it the 7th or the 14th? I believe it was the.
But are the minutes attached to the,
No.
yeah, I didn't think so.
Yikes. I'll go.
July what, Dan?
I have the 14th.
The wrong template or something.
That can't be right.
Am I wrong?
No, we had it over the 4th of July, because I remember I was out on
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the 7th. It was the 7th.
a boat dock.
It was the 7th.
So I move we amend the approval of the minutes to July 7th, 2020.
Yeah, but
And
the minutes
accept-
aren't attached, so I don't know that we can approve them, can we?
That's true. You're absolutely right.
So we'll approve the minutes at the next meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just
Yeah, we'll do
delay
it.
that
Two of them.
and move
Yeah,
on.
Okay.
All right.
The next item then would be to approve the vouchers, and those are attached, and I believe we
Right.
have 6 different sets here. So if anyone, I know if you've gone through, most of them are pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen anything.
Nothing. Motion to
I-
approve.
Second.
This motion been approved by Mike and seconded by Dave that we approve all the vouchers as listed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one's opposed, so it is approved. Items for discussion. I just really quickly, before we get to the summer interns, 2 things. You know, we're closing the pool on the 11th, although there's the dog party, I think, on the 12th. There was some confusion, and you may hear about it. Centennial Park at one point had a sign that said closed at 11. All ordinances indicate that all parks close at dusk, so that sign has been removed, so there was no confusion. Just in case someone asks you why that was done, that was there. And then I know Kevin is on here someplace, and I had run in to sign something at the office earlier. The parks at Elliott and Independence Park are starting back up now. Elliott, I saw people actually physically working there, and they have to be done before school starts, and that was a part of our partnership with the PTO and the school city and
Great.
such. So just
Thank
so
you.
now that school is going, we asked about it last week. He is now back on the job, and they are doing work so that they know they need to be out there before school starts, which is when, Ron?
Wednesday. The kids are in there Wednesday. A
So
week from this Wednesday.
they better hustle. So that's all I wanted to say really quickly, just as quick announcements before we went to the intern presentation. So we have these every year, and this one's going to be a fun one. It's Zoom. Maddie, it's all yours.
Addie?
We got Maddie over there anywhere?
Bueller? Bueller?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That sounds like Jill.
So, yeah, Maddie ended her internship last Tuesday. She did her presentation here for the office, but we just wanted to go ahead and attach it for you guys.
Oh,
She
Okay.
unexpectedly had to end her internship earlier because she had to get her wisdom teeth extracted. So
Ouch.
we wanted to include it for you guys. Should you wish to actually see the formal PowerPoint, she added some videos in there that I don't think are visible through the actual PDF. But I mean, she created a ton of flyers. She was a huge help. She worked on her public speaking, which she is now comfortable with. She helped with events, and she was a great part and a great team member to have on staff this summer.
Sounds good.
well, I can tell you she had a choice between hanging out with us or getting her wisdom teeth pulled. We don't rate pretty high right now.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, we appreciate her help, and I know she was useful to you guys. So she's continuing on her education, right? Where's she studying?
Chattanooga or something? They said?
Well, her internship is actually completed, so now she's taking a part-time job down in Bloomington, Indiana, helping a wedding planner.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
sounds like fun.
Well, thank you very much for that update, and thank her if you talk to her again.
Sure.
Okay, the next great item for discussion, and I know Jill and I spoke about this just very briefly, is some of the fall events that are coming up that are on our calendar, and that is Cash for Clutter and fall soccer. And in this present day, dealing with life and the situation that's given us, how do we proceed with these two large items? And so, Jill, if you have any thoughts on it before we really open it up.
The Cash for Clutter at this current time, we only have, I think, about 10 or 15 vendors committed, and those 10 or 15 vendors were transferred over from the spring. I had Abby call those vendors and see, kind of rank their interest level, and more so than not, they were interested in just receiving refunds. Because obviously I don't know how that would go with them bringing all of their materials to a parking lot to sell it, and with the money transfer and touching items. Just don't see how it could run effectively. And then fall soccer, I'm still undecided about that, to be quite honest. I'm receiving a lot of mixed feedback from previous coaches who refuse to play. However, they want to know what's going on. I have some coaches that want to play, but I mean, with the team aspect and sharing the balls and the close contact, I mean, it's quite a big difference between that and baseball, and how I can see baseball can go on, because that's more so, you're standing in a position, whereas soccer's more up in your face.
So
I guess just wanted to get feedback, I guess, from you guys regarding that.
So there was I think that there's another soccer club that I had heard was going to try to go, and this is just talking to one of the coaches, was going to try to do that with their season. with doing a mask requirement. Apparently, there's sports masks, and I've heard from a lot of people that do different things like. Well, Dustin, you might know CrossFit. Someone told me that some people are wearing masks for that, and it's been fine. And so I think the other soccer clubs were looking at doing it with masks. So I think if we do it, is that a possibility?
How
Yeah,
much
I
are the
mean, everyone would
masks?
have to provide their own.
Yeah, right.
But what's to say that they obviously wouldn't take it off when they get hot and sweaty during the game too?
So, Ron, I'm going to ask you because you're school board. What are you guys doing about athletics? Do you guys have any guidance from the state on that? I'm sorry.
What I say today could change in about an hour, what I say now. The IHSA is pretty much useless. They're not giving you much direction. A lot of these schools, like now, I just saw that some are doing e-learning but playing sports, which I don't understand, okay?
It's crazy.
And that's what I think Chicago just decided that. So it's pretty much up in the air. The question becomes, do you even have a schedule? Do you play like every maybe 4 games in the year or so you have that issue. And the IHSA, hey, if you do have a situation that somebody comes down with a positive, you have to shut down for 2 weeks. So now, because once that happens, you have to have 10 days of practice before you come back in. So it's really a up in the air, almost an impossible task, but we're attempting to do that as of today, as I'm speaking right now. I know the guys, the athletes are doing their, I guess you call it summer workouts. They're going to be getting on the field soon. I know that. But that's been delayed. So you may not even have a schedule. Athletic directors can't get on the same page in general in Lake County, or even the conferences, they're not getting. So we're attempting to do it. There's a split on the contact sports versus non-contact. There's a group arguing cross country and tennis should play. Volleyball, soccer, and football should not play. There's that argument. But we're right now, as I sit here right now, they're working on, if somebody comes down with something, a lot of things could change.
So I think
I'll
that's Jill's comment is, what you guys have to go through, you guys have a larger staff to accommodate. I can tell you and I'll ask Mike, Munster Babe Ruth shut down fall ball because we thought that it's just more important to focus completely on the education component without adding other issues and other like interactions to the equation. We were very fortunate. We didn't have any issues. Well, we had one issue during the summer baseball, but fall is different. And that's something that we're trying to, but Jill's trying to figure out. Should we go forward with Cash for Clutter number 1? Should we go forward with fall soccer number 2? And I know, Mike, you had a question or something.
Yeah, I just had a comment, and I will tell you that I would support you if you said that fall soccer would be too difficult to do because of Munster Little League. We had an incident with not necessarily an outbreak, but we had one kid that was tested positive. One kid on one team. It happened like on a Wednesday, like he went and got tested positive. They had practice on that Tuesday. We basically had to tell the whole team that they had to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. It was a really difficult thing, but I mean, this is a league club. There was a lot of pushback. They still wanted to have other members of their family still play. If you had multiple kids, it was really, really difficult. So I will say that it works great if no one tests positive. It's great. But if the minute you have one kid or somebody that has a positive test, it's chaos. And it's really, really hard. I mean, once the decision was made, it was hard to get to that decision to force people. And I had to basically say, there's no choice. You have to tell that team, suspend the team. We're done talking about it. Get it over with. And it was a really tough choice. So if you as the recreation department is going to have to make that decision, I don't want to put you through that. It was hard. It was really hard.
Cash for clutters. Is it 15 people? Is it worth it? I don't know. 15 setups. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, half of them want
That's
refunds. Normally, we have about 50 people participate
I
in
know.
this. All
I've been there, right? And and you're in that parking lot's going to look empty.
right.
My opinion is cash for clutter. I don't have a problem if most people are saying they want out and it's not worth it. It just makes it easy
Right.
for everyone just to be done with it. I think the issue is going to be, what do we do with fall soccer? Because I know registration is ongoing, right? I mean, like if I'm reading my emails and my social media correctly. So to Mike's point, kudos to Little League because what they did. We just notified the team of the occasion, and we didn't suspend it, but thankfully the person was asymptomatic. They just got tested because someone else got positive. So it's a lot to, like I said, we just decided just to notify and let people keep playing if that's what they chose. But
Well,
when
we
you have
notified the
school-
entire league, and there was
yeah,
still,
we did.
and after we notified the entire league, and then there were still parents that pulled out after that notification. So there was a lot of mixed, feedback from it. My position would be on soccer would be, if you're gonna have it, you got to require masks, and if you're not, I completely understand why you wouldn't want to.
Okay, well, anyone else? Dave, or I don't know if Robin's here. I don't see Robin.
This one's a hard one for me, I gotta tell you. I don't see masks as being a solution because I don't think kids are gonna wear them. And like Jill
I think
says,
they do.
they're gonna
They
take them
do.
off. And
But they do, and a lot of them are wearing them in the parks and stuff because their parents are making them, and they're getting used to them.
underneath
think,
their noses.
yeah,
That's
no,
all I
no,
see
no.
a lot of people.
I see more adults have the problem than kids do.
Yeah, well, yeah, but also, isn't it going to restrict you in terms of your breathing running up and down a soccer field, especially if
No,
it's
they
a
make
hot,
sports
humid
ones
day?
now.
Huh?
They make sports ones now that are more breathable.
Are they?
You just don't want to be spitting on people. That's the problem.
Yeah. I feel more sorry for the coaches and the parents. What is the story with the parents? I mean, they show up and watch, right? I mean, that's what's anticipated. The kids are so little, they're going to have to be there, the parents.
And I'll tell you, Little League, the parents have been, for the most part, there's been some bad ones that sit close together, but for the most part, they've been pretty good about spreading out all around the field, not necessarily by the bleachers, but around the field, around the outside, bringing chairs and stuff. So it's been pretty decent.
What if they don't do it then? Is there somebody there to, be the cop? And
there has
make
been,
them,
yeah, we got members of the board for the Little League. There was members of the board asking, trying to be around there for the games and stuff, just reminding people to, respect distances, respect the guidelines that we put out.
So what would we do if it's a park sport? Who's going to be there to do it then?
That would be up to your coaches,
Yeah,
just to remind people,
right.
remind parents. That's it.
You didn't have any trouble getting coaches for Little League?
No.
But Babe Ruth and Little League are a little bit different. You don't like. There's rare occasions where the people are fighting for the ball or in a scrum. It's
Absolutely.
batting.
Right.
It's at first base, second base, and that's the only difference with soccer that I can see is, especially the really little kids where they don't really know what's really going on. They just know which direction maybe to go to. Is that they're just all in it together. And to Mike's point also, we didn't really have much problem with the fans. The adults have been able to figure that out, I think. But we also took, we took the bleachers out of play, so there wasn't anybody, dealing with that stuff.
Yeah. What are other towns doing?
I don't know.
I don't either. But other towns also closed their pool. We left ours open, so I don't know if we're like really the.
No, I know we're the cutting edge.
Yeah, well, our pool suffered though, but that was a choice that we made.
Yeah, right, exactly. Seemed like the thing to do at the time. Well, if the face masks are not as restrictive as you say, I mean, here we just use the paper ones, and I haven't gone out and worn one on the golf course where social distancing isn't really being practiced, I must say.
I mean, we could get some prices on some, breathable sports
But-
masks and just charge for them.
Jill, do you think you're going to have enough players out there and coaches, or what's your feel for that?
Normally for our league, we have around 275 to like 325. And I can tell you when I looked last week, we were at about 150 for 4 age groups. I honestly have not looked at coaches whatsoever. I know that was one of our main struggles in the spring was that, we went through the process and I sent out emails searching for coaches and just no one was interested in stepping up. I mean, if you guys wish for us to go ahead and do the league, we can just at least seek out the coaches and kind of see what feedback is. I don't think players is the issue. I think it's just more so coaches.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot more kids than I would have thought. That's more than half.
Well,
Mhm.
by us right now, our numbers and I think as of when was it? Yesterday night. 70, roughly, give or take a percentage or two. 70% want in school learning, and 30% want online. So there's a group that's going to come in no matter what. So that doesn't surprise me. The numbers.
There's a question from the public if the board would like to entertain it.
Sure.
My question was, we were supposed to do the spring soccer and we were told we could transfer registration to fall. So has there been any effect on numbers in terms of participants of adding spring participants to fall participants? And is there any plan on how we're handling that?
Just for the record, could you just give us your name so that we can put it in the
Sure.
record?
Yep, it's Kelly Mahler, Mahler.
Okay, thank you.
The
How's
numbers that I did give include the spring people that transferred over into the fall.
Okay.
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 So,
I guess I lean toward let's do it with the masks or the face protection that Mike's talking about. And I guess with soccer, you don't have bleachers, so that's not an issue. And I think adults will be adults about it and sit in their own personal chairs that everybody brings out. And I could see the spacing not being a problem that way. So those are my thoughts.
So just for clarification, would we provide those masks to people, or would each individual
Well,
kid have to wear
I don't think we should have to. I mean, I don't know what they cost. They might maybe, if
Well,
they're,
I don't know what the cost is, but is there a possibility to look at ordering some in bulk to reduce the cost and maybe,
yeah. I mean, it would be,
asking for the.
are the fees already set in stone? I mean, if it's that much, it'd be like paying for your jersey or your uniform. I'm sure they're not more than $5 a piece, especially if you buy them in bulk like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the kind of stuff that like Brett Favre's advertising with for the back? Now they got it for the face.
Well, look, in theory, because of the governor's order, everybody should have a mask of some form or fashion at this point already. You can't go into a public building without it. So I don't think we need to buy masks personally. I think everyone should have one. I mean, I don't know if they're requiring it in school or not, but I can tell you if
Yeah.
you go to,
Yes.
all right,
Yes.
so I don't think buying it. So if we put the caveat that is the restriction, then that's what it is. We still have to worry about coaches. And then here's my question. And it's, if school closes, just say school has an issue, you have an outbreak in school. Are we shutting down? Are we shutting down soccer? I'm just saying, if we're going forward with this, we gotta.
You need an exit. You need a pivot plan for all of this.
Yeah.
And, and you have
Absolutely.
to
And
think-
we used, for Little League, they used one for Little League, which was our out. We had defined all of those terms. If there was a positive test, that team unfortunately had to sit out for the next 2 weeks. So that's what we went back on. We relied on, I should say.
Well, I just want to make sure it's clear, because if Jill has to run this, I want to make sure that she has the backing of us to know that, look, if there's an outbreak in school, or if whatever, what are we going to do and how are we going to do it? Because like you said, Mike, that's not a fun decision to make. If you have one kid or two kids or whatever test positive, and you're hoping that those parents will be upfront about it, not shaming anybody. Look, it's going to happen. People are going to get sick, but you want to make sure that you try to protect everybody in this, so that if you do end up with a positive, that has to be told to us and to the other teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting that we are going forward with soccer with the caveat of you must wear a mask. Is that?
I mean, Jill, what do you want to do? What are you advising? Is that?
I don't really feel comfortable running it, but I know that it's a moneymaker for the town. So on that aspect, I mean, we can go ahead and run it, and we can require masks. Yeah, I mean, I just fear that something wouldn't be transferred to the park office if someone was to test positive, and I mean,
Well-
there's all the what ifs, I guess, with it.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to do it just because it
Obviously.
makes money. That isn't,
Mhm.
that doesn't have
Agreed.
anything to do with this. I think it's an issue of the kids wanting to do something and parents wanting to do something. And that's kind of the way I look at it. But
Yeah,
know,
money.
if our staff isn't comfortable doing it, then I'm not sure we should do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to force somebody to. No, I definitely don't want to do that if you guys are not comfortable putting on the program, because ultimately that would come back to you. So let's just throw that out there. Let's say you start a season, you require masks, and 2 weeks into the season, you have a kid that's reportedly tested positive. So now you do have to do that work and say, okay, that team has to, they're going to be removed for the next 2 weeks, and any of their brothers or sisters that are playing on other teams have to be removed for time. I mean, that's what we had to do, is just do that work. So it is a lot of work. I mean, and I don't want to just put that on you, because it is a lot of work. Luckily for Little League, it only happened the one time. It was one case, but soccer is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, with Little League, there was no face masks, and they were, kind of close together. And I think you're, passing it, from what I'm hearing, it really is more by mouth, coughing, sneezing, talking,
Yeah.
spitting.
How did they space in the dugouts?
So we had just a limit. So you had a limit in dugouts, and the rest of them had to space out along the fences.
And in Babe Ruth, what we did was we had a 6-person rule in the dugout, and then we took the bullpens and the other area, and we sort of roped those off. And by the way, Ron has been disconnected for a short time,
No,
but
I'm
I understand he's
back
back
in.
on now.
Thank you.
But so yeah, it's up to you guys to make whatever motion you want to make, and we feel like school board members right now at this point.
Yeah, right.
No,
Well, I guess I feel feel, I kind of am deferring to the staff, because if the staff's not comfortable with it,
Exactly.
then I don't think we should do it.
Dave,
So I've kind
exactly.
of done it about a 180 on it now.
If you don't have the team on board that's willing to implement everything, the rules to the T, you don't do it. You know, you have to have a commitment for this to happen. You and I, the rest of us could say yes or no, and we're done. The staff's going to have to carry that out. Is it realistic? So it's there, really, we need them. We call on them to inform us, is this wise? I understand parents, the ones who are coming out there, the parents don't have a problem. They wouldn't be sending their children out there.
Right.
But do we have the ability?
We don't have
to
this.
put
We don't
on-
have this ability to police it either.
Yeah, do
With
we
Little
have the
League and Babe
ability
Ruth
to
and some of
pull
the
this
other
off?
organizations, there were board members and coaches that were able to, redirect bad behavior. But we don't have, at the park office, we don't have the ability to go out there and redirect that.
And,
So-
and in the schools, we have the ability to hire more people to help us out. And I don't think we would be hiring a group of individuals. I don't know how many you would need to help this be pulled off. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good point. How does the staff feel, Dave? Exactly. That's the question.
Okay, so we got the 180. I like it.
You want a
we-
motion?
I guess
Can
we-
we
I-
revisit this? I mean, I don't want to drop this on the staff right now. Can we revisit this in 2 weeks? Let them toss it around, let them think creatively, and to decide which way to, before we just spring this on them right now. That's not fair either.
Well, they sort of put it on the agenda. They wanted this to be discussed so that they could get some direction. When is the cutoff for fall soccer sign up,
Yeah.
and when does the season begin?
Good question.
The deadline is on Friday,
Well,
and then the season was supposed to start September 12th or 13th, that second Saturday in September.
Okay. Well, I'll just say that then. So although I would support it if you wanted to do this, I will just make a motion to cancel the fall soccer at this point, just due to the COVID-19 restrictions.
I'll second.
All right, well, there's been a motion and a second for this time, just cancel the fall season for soccer. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? So we greatly apologize, and I know it's not a fun
I do.
thing
It's
to
a
do.
horrible. Yeah, I'm just going to say it's a horrible decision. I hate to see kids that are looking forward to something having to do with that. It's horrible, but this is the unfortunate situation that we're all in.
We
Yeah.
need to reimburse these people too.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that too.
Yeah, and we would stop taking registrations certainly too, so. Okay, the only other matter, as you all know, is we're down to the final 3 interviews for park directors, so that will happen on Friday. And hopefully we'll have a choice here soon after.
So we just go there, Dan, just to clarify, I don't know, I forgot the times, 11 or something to 3,
That's correct.
and just tell them at the office that what we're there for, and they'll direct us.
I believe Dustin has arranged something, and he also has boxed lunches, so that we're just
Where,
gonna go.
where
through
is it? Is it at Town Hall or at Centennial?
I
Ron,
believe it was a Centennial, but I could be wrong.
if you prefer to have it at Town Hall, we can have it at Town Hall. Centennial affords a little bit more elbow room, perhaps.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know,
I like the space at Centennial.
Yeah, you just can't get there.
we'll be for your lunch preferences, and we'll get that sorted out this week.
So 11:30, right?
The exact schedule will go out, but yes, the first interview will begin at 11:30.
Okay, so we're waiting on something from you then, right?
Well, you will get a
Thank-
packet of information as well as a phone call requesting your preference for lunch.
Thank you, Dustin.
You're very welcome. I have one item to consider. I just received an email this morning, last night, from a tournament organizer that had worked with Greg before the calamity. And they had some dates in October for tournaments for softball. And it was the prior direction that during the summer, outside leagues wouldn't have the use of our facilities under the circumstances. And I just wanted to confirm that that is still the board's sentiment now, or would you like to pivot slightly? Happy to do it either way. Just want to follow up with this person.
I think we should continue the
Yeah.
way that we've been going, especially because I believe girls softball, our Munster girls softball, their season only just began, and I think they are attempting to do a combined summer fall, so that stretches. So I don't know what the availability is of the fields over there.
Okay, you got it.
Sounds good.
Great.
All right, well,
Thank you.
thank you, everyone.
I move
Motion.
we adjourn.
Second.
Hey, there's one more question from the public if you'd like to
Oh.
take.
Sure.
I'm so
Ms.
sorry.
Mahler?
I meant to ask earlier, but I had technical problems on the laptop and I had no audio in the beginning. So I was trying to get in to the beginning of your meeting and not at the end here. So if this is something I need to bring up at the next one, that's perfectly fine. The biggest questions I had were just, I had seen the announcement on the Facebook group about the change to the dawn to dusk schedule at the parks. So is that something you can answer a few questions about now for me?
Yeah, sure. Well, and I said it a little bit before that we don't know why there was a sign there that said 11. I mean, there's some people that have some thoughts on why the sign was there at 11. But in the ordinance fashion, all parks in Munster are closed from dawn to dusk or dusk to dawn.
And I
So that nothing has
understand.
changed in that respect.
I guess my first question would be do you know how old the ordinance is? Only because I've lived here 8 years and the sign's been there that long. So I guess that would be my first question is just, I was under the impression that Centennial was some sort of exception. So I guess my question is what prompted the change? And who put the 11 p.m. signs here in the first place? I guess would be a good question too.
Yeah, here's what I can tell you from a historical perspective, from talking to people that have been here even prior to me being on the park board, is that they put those signs there because of the events that were going to take place in Centennial at the band shell and the other, but there was no ordinance to back that sign up. So it reverts back to where the ordinance is, and the ordinance states, and actually, and I went to the park board, there's a pamphlet that for rentals says that all parks are dusk to dawn. So there wasn't anything besides probably someone told someone to put a sign up prior to you and me both being involved in this, and that's where it stood. And until you look back at things, it didn't substantiate that and didn't support that. So all parks, no matter what park, Frank Hammond or Beach or Centennial, they're all closed at dusk. So nothing has changed from that respect.
Is there a process for making any sort of specific ordinance to that park? Just in the sense that obviously over the last 8 years, people have made certain habits based on the signage there.
Sure.
It's just something I'm personally invested in, I guess, as a person who, my husband and we're commuters to Chicago. So especially in the fall, if we wanted to do walks, a lot of times it would be after sunset at 5 o'clock, 5:30. So it was definitely something that when I saw it on the Facebook group, it was concerning to me on a personal level. And I'm only one person, so I'm sure there's other people too who are interested in the process. And
yeah, and that's why I said it early on, and you may have had technical difficulties when I made mention of it. The ordinance process is done through the town council.
Okay.
They're the ones that create the rules. So if there was a carve out or a cutout or something that needed to be added or switched or reinforced, it would be all go through them without throwing them to the wolves. That's just who creates the rules for the town.
Okay. I mean, yeah. It's
I will, if I could interrupt you.
Sure.
Because I'm in my office and I've been on the park board for a long time, and I'm looking at the ordinances from March 23 of 1992. And section 1938 talks about hours of operation of the parks. And the hours are from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. according to the ordinance.
Do you have the most recent ordinance?
Well, I don't know that I do, but I'm just, pulled this out since I was here.
Well, I
And
suppose
all
it's-
I'll say is, and Justin, I think, can jump in, though, I was advised by Attorney Westland that was a dusk to dawn.
Well, if there's anything I've learned in being a town manager, it's not to be in the middle of two lawyers who have different opinions.
Good answer, Doug.
Look, Kelly, I'll tell you this, we'll figure it out,
Okay.
and I will work with the two attorneys with different opinions, and we'll see which one's more correct.
That would be great. And I mean, I've been on a board, so I know how this stuff goes. I understand. It's just something, Centennial is such a great park. I just love it so much. And I guess I was just hoping there was a middle ground between, sunset and 11 p.m. And if the town council is the person to talk to, then maybe that's just the direction we need to go. So.
There is a difference between sunset and dusk. Dusk extends sometimes almost an hour after sunset.
Well, that's good
Dusk
to know.
ends when it's totally dark outside. And I don't think we want very many pedestrians walking around the parks, but it's pitch black.
I mean, I will not lie though. It's a beautiful park. The sculptures have lighting and LED lighting at night. It's just something I've always enjoyed. And I know I've seen other park members there walking, at 9 o'clock at night. So I don't know. I mean, maybe there's possibility there to find a middle ground that would work for more residents. So, but thanks for entertaining the comments and questions.
No, not a
Thank
problem.
you,
Thank you very
Kelly.
much for the input.
Very good. Thank you.
Anyone else? There was a motion to adjourn by, I think, Mike, and seconded by Dave. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And
Aye.
those opposed, ayes have it. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.